This is Lizzie from Let Zoe Spoil You.
And Sagira from Sagira Salutes You. And together we are Newbie versus Weeaboo. Sagira, Newbie.
Lizzie, a Weeaboo.
It's Newbie versus Weeaboo. Ahoy!
Heidi, hi.
Hello! Yeah, I'm sounding more upbeat than I actually am because I have to make up for it because I'm so tired.
Yes. The life of working in schools makes me feel sleepy. But I'm not sleepy, really. I'm overly excited to be doing things.
I know, it's great when we're doing all this creative stuff, but it's just like, running around after young people, it's just too much. I'm too old for this.
Past it. I need a new career.
Exactly. I need one where I sit down. Working from home sounds great at the moment.
Yeah, I'm jealous of all those people that get to stay at home while we all have to still go to work all the time.
And they're all going, oh, it's such a nuisance. Look, my cat is jumping up here. Oh, my dog wants attention. Oh, boo-hoo. I'd far rather have the attention of a cat or dog. That'd be marvellous right now.
You're not bitter.
Well, it's not that. I'm just so tired. It's not the children's fault. They're being sprightly and youthful, how I wish I was.
Yes, full of energy and running around.
Really, I'm not. I'm just so 33 is not old, but it feels old. I need some more vitamin C and other various supplements.
You get you some supplements. I mean, it could be worse. You could be crippled like me and doing physiotherapy twice a week just so I could walk up a hill.
Oh dear, it's not going well at the moment.
It's like, I'm tired. My leg doesn't work.
Well, do you know what we need? What would be useful to us?
Robot legs.
That, but also a parasite to readjust our body so that we run like athletes and jump like kangaroos, which leads us on to our anime Parasyte. Yeah, I found the tangent in there somewhere.
There we go.
We are on to episode 20, Crime and Punishment. And isn't that the book that Miggy was reading?
Yes.
Crime and Punishment? Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was Crime and Punishment or Law and Order. I couldn't remember.
Law and Order is a TV show.
It could be a book.
No, but it's not like a famous, like... It's Crime and Punishment or it's War and Peace. They're the really big...
Law and Order.
Law and Order.
24.
Law and Order Parasyte edition.
Inspector Morse.
Special Paradise? Special Parasyte Unit or whatever it's called.
Well, this is all about crime and punishment because everything's going down.
Yeah.
Holy crap. This is the action-packed episode we've been waiting for. This is the one where it's like, and go. But yes, we open where we left off, which was a group of parasites. Well, it's not a group of parasites at all. I'm getting ahead of myself.
I just want to get to the
I just want to get to when it all blows up. Okay, so a group of people are walking past the van, the scientific beepy boopy van, which tells you if it's a parasite or not. And one of them has lost its head. Clearly, this is a parasite. So, as the group tries to leave, the soldiers single the person out who's a woman, as we remember, and they shoot her. It's like, my group, bang. She now feels threatened, so she transforms and starts attacking, because why wouldn't you? But the wound then catches up to her and she dies. So the first parasite is down. They know that the weapon of choice works and she's dead.
Yeah, they've done their research. They've got all their body armor. They've got those massive shotguns, and they've gone straight for the heart. And they're kind of singling off the parasites one by one, going, "Oh, we've just gonna accidentally slow down your walking, and look what's happening between these two cars. Bam, you dead."
But the thing is, they, like the parasites originally underestimated humans, they are now underestimating the parasites because they're like, "This will work the whole time. Look, we did one. Of course, they're not going to catch on." Okay. Sorry to disappoint you. But Miggy tells Shinichi one is dead. And then the intro. Now, this isn't a very Miggy and Shinichi filled episode. This is all about the parasites, this one. And it's like it's beyond Shinichi and Miggy now. It's out of their hands. They can't do anything about what's happening. So, and this episode reflects that by them not being in it, like at all. I think we see them 3 times, and that's it.
It's actually showing that actually they're only a tiny speck in a much grander picture, and there's like a bigger world out there, and other forces have been like. Also, so all this time that Shinichi's like, I'm doing this on my own, you realise that actually, people have cottoned on, they've been getting ready, they've been training for this moment, and he's suddenly like, what do I do? Because I kind of thought that I would have to tackle all of this on my own, and it turns out they kind of actually don't even need me at this moment, and I'm a bit insignificant right now.
And also, you can kind of get the feeling that Migi and Shinichi aren't really talking while this is going on. They're just literally watching, observing. Migi's like sensing what he can sense, and yeah, it's probably really sad for them because yes, parasites are bad, and well, most parasites are bad because they don't understand. But then after the whole thing with Ryoko, it's like actually, we need to understand them better, and Shinichi has realized that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's that thing that because of everything they've gone through, they can see both sides and are now absolutely trapped in the middle of not knowing like which side should they actually be helping out, and they've realised more about the nature of parasites and the nature of humans and their relationships. But, at the same time, he's just a 17-year-old kid on the outside and seeing how adults are dealing with the situation. Yeah, it's isolating.
Yamagishi, who was the one who was in charge of the identifying and attacking, he's pleased and tells his team to collect the body. He wants more power to take the enemy down, so he thinks a shotgun will do the trick. So before they just kind of used rat-a-tat-tat guns, but he's now like, this bullet from a shotgun, blah, 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 all the words and numbers, and to make it a really I don't know what kind of bullet it was, but yeah, it was like the bullet, like one of those ones that I'm guessing it's one of those ones that go in and then go inside, like just freak you out.
Scattershot.
Scattershot, yes. Maybe not, I don't know, but that's what it sounds like. Inside City Hall, everyone heard the gunfire and become worried, as you would. A soldier tells them that the gunman is firing warning shots. I like how he says it as if he's rehearsed a script or something.
Yeah.
He's firing warning shots.
Like, don't worry, people. Just stay sheep.
They start releasing more people, but every single one that they've released after this are human. So Yamagishi thinks that they are now onto them. I mean, if they've done their research about the parasites and stuff, then they will know that they can sense each other. So if they can sense that one of their own kind has died like Migi did...
Yeah, they're not going to send any more out.
No, exactly. Why would they be? They're not, as I said, they're not stupid. They have evolved, and the humans they're not taking them. What's the word? They're underestimating them. They're not, giving them the respect that they should have in terms of how dangerous they are. Hirama mentions to Yamagishi that in the notes that the detective had left behind, he says that they could have telepathy, and the reason why the detective thought this was when Shinichi caught him. Like that whole thing was they used telepathy for that, didn't they? Because Uda was in the car and he told Shinichi when the detective was approaching. That's how Shinichi knew where he was. So that's how he kind of caught on to the telepathy thing. But it also could be that Shinichi had told him about it, because we don't know everything that the detective and Shinichi had talked about. But I would suppose that during the story that Shinichi was telling, he would have mentioned the telepathy, or not so much telepathy, but the
sense.
The sensing, the sense that they have. Hirama is sending Uragami in, but Yamagishi doesn't trust him, which,
Uragami is not someone to be trusted.
No, because they don't know if he's going to tell the truth. They don't know if he's just going to say, shoot that person, and they shoot them, and it's not really a parasite. It's like, oh, my bad. They don't know how he's going to react to this. Yeah, caution is a must with this man. Hirokawa tells the soldier that he thinks there's a meeting on the second floor and they probably hadn't heard the announcement. Soldier says that he'll go and get them, but Hirokawa thinks that men with guns will spook them and they won't be very happy with that. No. Like, don't just running and scare my people. Like, what the hell?
I like how he's expressing and thinking like human tactics. Like, it's very clever.
Yes. And also Hirokawa says like, oh, we'll go up and get them. Like, don't worry yourself. Let the mayor take this on. Yamagishi says that this is them making their move and they are not to leave. he gives permission to send in Uragami. It's got to that desperate time now.
Yeah,
Fine,
it's like,
send him in.
send in the
Whatever.
serial killer.
Uragami convinces his handler to take off his cuffs, which, yeah, he doesn't need his cuffs off. You know, he doesn't need his hands to.
But it would freak out people if they were wandering around with some cuff guys. Like, did the shooter from the roof? Are you just parading him around inside the building now? Like, that would be the logical jump.
I didn't even think of that they would think that he was the gunman. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's not exactly dressed in, you know, everyday wear, so. But then it's a bit quick. Hey, he's a gunman. Oh, look, we just so happen to have these lovely smocks to put on him from prison. Shinichi wants to help, but Miggy thinks it's a bad idea, which, yeah, because if they get involved, it's like, oh, clearly you have something to do with this, because so far it's all just suspicion. They can't prove anything. But could you make up your mind, please?
That was a definite. And notice me now.
Yeah. Well, she walked down. She's walked back in. Hello. Yes, I love you too. Mummy's working. The soldier who said about going up to get the people from the second floor, he asks Hirakawa to cooperate with them because, you know, there's a situation happening. But Hirakawa gets really angry and shouts at him. Now, that's a really strong emotion. So either Hirakawa... Faking it, yes, but parasites can't even fake an emotion. Well, convincingly. So either Hirakawa is as evolved as Ryoko was, and he's done his... Well, you think he had done his research on humans because he's the mayor. And to be the mayor, you need to have a certain knowledge of the human race and how they vote, how they think, what's important to them. So you think he would have done all his research in that way. But then the other thing is, he might not be a parasite at all. Because if we remember when Ryoko said to Shinichi in the park, Hirakawa is the key, but she never got to tell him what it is. Maybe it's because he's human. I don't know. And then we talked about also that back when Ryoko was talking to Hirakawa in the dark office about everything that's going on, he knew a lot about this stuff. So, nah. I'm on to you, Hirakawa. But like I say, it could be either at this point. We're not sure. While this distraction is happening of the argument going on, a woman who's a parasite, and we know she's a parasite because she was telepathically talking to the other parasites, she asks to leave. A soldier escorts her out with a group, but they all start to cluster together.
Clever.
So that they're one on top of the other, so you can't tell whose skull is who and whose body is who. And it's like, okay, got ya. So again, organized, know what they're doing, got a plan. Underestimated. Uragami arrives and he freaks out, like, they're everywhere. Oh, so many of them.
They're all parasites. Shit.
Now, because he's freaked out, a man freaks out, he panics and he starts to run, but is shot. I mean, they're not shooting him because they think he's a parasite, I don't think. I think they're shooting him just because he ran, and that's really suspicious. They didn't take into consideration he was panicked. They didn't take into consideration that they don't know who's who at this point. They just went, he's running, shoot him, which is what you would do.
It's like they're trying to cover it up. They don't want this getting out of the building. So they're like, just shoot anyone that's not going according to our plan.
But then Uragami bursts their bubble and go, oh no, he was human. It's like, you bastard.
He is a dick. You're just like, are you actually going to tell the truth? Because you're kind of getting off on people being killed here. So exactly. You're just like, oh, whoopsie, my bad. I was confused.
Well, because of this, another man questions how they could just shoot someone. And you're just shooting people now. Creepy Uragami transformation. Because he has the most evil look on his face at this point. And he's like, there's one. So, of course, they shoot him, but before he can, he transforms and slash. Soldier dead.
Yep.
And then all hell breaks loose. Bang, 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 bang. Pew, 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 ah.
You're just like, they're going, oh, she's a parasite. The parasite's going, oh, I'm going to kill you. The pedestrians, the civilians are like, what the fudge is that? Wait a minute.
Pedestrians walking by going, what's going on over there?
Yeah, the pedestrians are like, oh, it's a bit noisy in that building. Like,
Everyone's getting involved. But yeah, so all hell's broken loose. Shots are fired and some bullets go awry and they break the equipment. So that's the end of that plan. It's like when you've had 2 vans, you've clearly been planning this for a while. Wouldn't you have raised the money or found some sort of resource to be able to have 2 vans that can scan just in case?
Just in case. No, they thought they were so clever. But it does look like the Parasytes did it on purpose so the van would get shot.
Yes, exactly. So, again, underestimating their enemy.
Yep.
It's
both sides completely just like, oh, we're so clever. Oh, no, we're so clever. And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. It's a game of cat and mouse. So one gets the upper hand and the other one gets the upper hand. And they're both constantly thinking and adapting and trying to outdo the other team. And yeah, it's very exciting. The woman Parasyte, who was the one who was like, I can go now, she's shot as well. And as she's shot, she goes flying back into the building. So the jig is up.
Yeah.
This is what's happening, everyone. There's no gunman. Sorry. Sorry to trick you, but it's Parasytes. and everyone just panics.
Yeah.
So during all this kerfuffle and everything, Goto picks up a person.
It's like, too much chaos. You know what will happen if I just throw a person into the mix? That'll be a great idea. More chaos for everyone.
But what I like is that they shoot at Goto, just miss Goto, and it shoots the bloke behind him. He's like, ah. It's like, no,
human shield time.
You? Who trained these people? They clearly will train more in how to, deal with a parasite rather than how to, aim.
Not kill all the civilians.
Yes, just blindly fire and you'll shoot someone. Great, well done. So yeah, Goto, as he's been shot at, he transforms and slash. There's bodies dropping, there's people freaking out, there's people transforming and dying. Ugh. Hirokara and his posse decide it's time to leave. They're like, let's bounce.
They're like, Goto's got this distraction covered. It's time to just walk off casually.
Yeah, so they walk back into the building because they can't get out the front, so they just go back inside because there's nowhere else to go. And they just let them leave. They're like, just let them, because they're not going to go anywhere. They're stuck in the building. I'm sure there's other doors, but they don't seem to be too.
Yeah, no fire exits in this building.
I'm guessing that they've got their teams everywhere, so no matter what exit they try to get out of, there's going to be someone waiting for them. Yamagishi comes in, laying down the law, and tells everyone to get on the ground. One guy stands up, and he's like, who are you to tell us what to do? And he's shot.
He's like, I'm the man with the gun.
Yeah, I'm the man with the gun. I'm the man with the SWAT team. I'm the man in all the armor and stuff. That's who I am, okay? You're a guy in a suit. Bang. So, yeah, sometimes just get down and just do what you're told, because in this situation, there's no one walking free from this.
This is not the time to question the abuse of power. This is the time to just go, they look more powerful than me, lie on the floor.
Yes. And he ends up being human. And Yamagishi was, he's human. It's like, yes, he is. You can't just shoot people. But apparently you can.
Yep.
Yamagishi tells everyone what's going on. So he's starting to now explain there's parasites. We're here to get them. And Shinichi watches all of this from his window and he really wants to help now. He's like, we have to do something. No, there's nothing you can do. Yamagishi gives orders and tells Uragami to go with him. Now, in the sub, it says, you'll want to talk bastard, because he's mentioned something about monsters. But in the dub, he says, I'm seeing monsters all over the place around here, which obviously indicates that Yamagishi is also a monster because he's just killing. He's not thinking at all about the safety of the public. He's just thinking we have a directive. Basically, he's being a parasite.
Yeah.
I have a directive. I'm going to do it. Screw whoever gets in my way.
It's totally showing the this is the human monster element. I feel like it's really annoying when they change the line because they think that the Western audience isn't going to get the underlying. It's like, no, people are not dumb, but they change it. It's like, oh, we've got to make it really obvious what we're implying here. We're implying that this dude is every bit as monstrous as a parasite. Like, he does not care about collateral damage and human cost. He's just following orders and doing what needs to be done, which means he's literally no different from the parasite.
No, not at all. Like I say, he's following a directive, and he'll do anything to do it. Same as parasites. Their directive was to eat people and to survive, basically. And whoever got in their way, they killed.
Yeah, it makes him a monster because he is so completely blasé about human life.
So, yeah, Yamagishi goes in and he splits up, and all the different teams start securing all the rooms, making sure that all the parasites are gone. In the lobby, a parasite uses a person as a human shield to escape, but is instantly mowed down. And again, it's that thing of, you can use a human if you like, but they're going to shoot no matter what. They'd rather kill one person to spare the many.
Yeah.
Because if that parasite gets away, who knows how many more people it's going to kill. However, if they shoot this one guy to get to the parasite, it's just one not injury. It's more than injury.
What do you know? That man be dead.
Yes, it's one not casualty, it's one fatality.
Fatality. What's interesting about that is actually, like, in a normal situation, as if it's ever going to be a normal situation, but like, as human, our understanding is that you wouldn't needlessly, like, end human life. Like, the needs of the many, may not be, as quoting Star Trek wrong, but the needs of the one is not as good as the needs of the many. I know. Oh no, my Trek badge is going to be returned. No, I got it the wrong way around. But yeah, every life is sacred, and parasites have the understanding of humanity, the fact that humans don't just kill their own kind to get what they need. They don't just needlessly sacrifice lives because they believe in human life being, like, sacred. So they're kind of, like, wrong-footed by this situation. And even us as a viewer are sitting there going, no, they're just happy to kill people to get. They are not the nicey nice military unit that goes in and going, no one is going to be left behind, and every life is, and we're going to save as many people as possible. No, it's like, no, human life means nothing in this situation because parasites cannot be allowed to spread from where they are.
It's also like they only had two plans. The first plan was, okay, we'll do it in a way that, we don't spread panic. We have as few fatalities as possible. We scan them. If they don't have a head, we kill them. Cool. Oh, wait, that went wrong. Right, kill everyone.
Yeah, basically, like,
it's from 0 to 50 very quickly.
Well, it went from, like, covert, like, one-on-one, also, like, stealth operation to genocide.
Basically,
like,
yes.
It's like, how do you go from whoop? And I was like, was there no, like, plans in the middle part about, like, but no, there was just like, and kill them all.
No, it's like two plans. Either do it this way or everyone dies. And yeah, we've got to this point now. Hirakawa calmly walks to Goto. So they're in like a quiet hallway at the moment and they just meet. Goto questions why Hirakawa didn't escape, as it would have been easy for him. Now that's another thing saying, oh, would he have got out because he's a human? Would he have got out, or is he just really good at blagging it? It's like, so that's another tick for the human box, but again, we'll see. But then Hirakawa says, you as well, which would imply that Goto could have got out easily. Now, we know that Goto is a parasite. We've seen it. He's 5 parasites. So all I can think is that because Goto is so goddamn powerful, he could just escape no matter what.
He could have just jumped out of a window and used his tentacles to fly off. And people would be like, well, we can't use a shotgun against that thing that's whirled off into the distance at like 30 miles per hour. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly. So both of them could have escaped if they wanted to. But Goto says that he wants to stay because he wants to see how these humans fight, obviously, so he can adapt and fight back and win because he's a freaking superhuman parasite.
Yeah, he's beyond superhuman. He
just doesn't seem to have any part of human except he looks like one. Like he doesn't seem to actually consist of any human elements.
No.
But then he was made, we know that, so he's made by a parasite for parasites. He asks what Hirakawa will do, and he says there's no point in running. So obviously he's just going to hang around and
see what's going down.
Yep, see what happens. As they leave, Goto says, now I can do what I like. It's
And
like,
you're like,
oh,
uh-oh.
foreboding. Oh dear. Yamagishi hears that they've lost Hirakawa, so the teams split up again to go and find him because obviously he's the big cheese. Yamagishi sends Uragami with the other team, so away from him, and his handler says that Yamagishi won't be able to ID the parasites without him because, you know, that's what he's there for. But Yamagishi says he's getting used to spotting the parasites. He knows which ones are monsters, and it's like, do you though?
Yeah.
You know, after you've shot them, if they're human, because that seems to be the pattern with this guy. Shoots them. Oh, it's human. Great. Bit late. Uragami's team finds a group of dead parasites, and they just suppose that the other team must have found them first, which probably, I mean, they're all brutally murdered. They then find a couple in a cupboard, and they're getting busy.
Yeah.
And they're like, how can we be doing this at a time like this? It's not what it looks like.
No, not at all. It's just, I love it. It's like, oh, look, there's an evacuation order. This is the perfect time to bang in the cupboard.
Well, Uragami says that they are human, but without him, they would have been dead. They would have just shot them because it's like, oh, 2 people, bang.
Yeah.
Yamagishi's team finds someone and shoot him. He turns out to be a parasite. And they ask how Yamagishi knew, to which he replies he wasn't down on the first floor. But that doesn't mean that he's not human. It just means he didn't get down to the first floor.
He's
But then
a
he
murderer himself.
But then he concludes with, just shoot everyone. A voiceover, who I'm assuming is Hirama, just because it sounds like him. They tell us that the job of the squad was not to protect civilians, but to wipe out the enemy, which they did. So there it is, right there, directive. Get rid of the enemy. Not protect and serve.
No.
Not all for one for all. Nothing like that. Just
No. This is not a rescue mission. This is an extermination.
As he said, didn't he? He said in the last one, this is pest extermination. It's like you put the tent up and you fumigate, and whoever's stuck inside, oh well.
Oh dear.
Which is massively scary.
Yeah. I always just think this whole thing of like, it's like the parasites have probably got quite a high tolerance to things like gas and stuff. If they just gassed the building, all the people would have passed out, and then the ones still running around would have been parasites. Even if the parasites were faking it, all you'd have to do is poke people with something like a zappy stick, and they'd be like, oh well, they're unconscious still, they're not moving. But if you zappy a parasite, it's still going to have that momentary like meh, or just go around cutting a strand of their hair off.
And see if it moves or anything. But,
so there we go.
But that's the thing, it's the same equivalent, because it's not like you can say, oh, but everyone would definitely die. It's like they seem to be definitely dying now. Like it's not like if the army hasn't got them, a parasite has got them. You know, it's like not many people are going to come out of this alive.
Anyone is, yeah.
No, exactly. So it'll be the same result no matter what. Tanichi hears the gunshots and he thinks of Ryoko's words that parasites are frail and shouldn't be pushed around. I mean, it is coming to fruition because they are killing them. They are just dying. Like, you know, it's
indiscriminately without like any like idea that they're also a sentient being, and no matter how they got there and how they started at, they've got some rights in there. Especially as they're learning and evolving,
but that's the key word, evolving. They've evolved, and it hasn't taken that long to do so. And they should, I don't know, round them up or something. I don't know, but obviously they're willing to talk because when they first got them all down into the room, no one freaked out and started slashing about. So clearly they have a sense of protecting. They want to survive. They have a survival instinct.
I mean, would it have been like far less violent if they went in and going, we know there are parasites among you, let's have an open dialogue about this. If you release the humans, we'll talk. But by going in and going, they're like, well, now we're just going to defend ourselves, really.
This is it. And Hirama, I think that if he was in charge of this, that's kind of how it would have gone, because, I mean, he didn't shoot Ryoko straight away. A, because he wasn't entirely sure, and B, like, he could tell that this woman, you know, she was intelligent. So, I mean, they could have spoken to Ryoko, but at this point, you know, they just knew her as a dangerous woman because of all the bad things she had done before.
Literally just murdered a guy about 5 minutes before they found her, so...
Well, that's it, yeah. I think if she hadn't... But, again, if they spoke to her, it's like, he was threatening my baby. Yeah. I reacted in a mother's instinct kind of way to protect my baby. You can't say that no mother wouldn't do the same.
No, exactly. It's
Even
like,
human mothers, you know, if their child is threatened. I mean, how many times do you hear mum say, like, if you threaten my children, I will kill you? Like, you know, nothing comes between a mother and her child. Uragami's team find a man who begs for his life, but Uragami's like, just shoot him. But the team hesitates. And it's like, listen to him. That's why he's here. Even if they shoot him and it's human, at least then you'll know that he's lying.
yeah.
You know, it's like this is a good test. But Uragami says, what are you doing? Shoot him. So they do, but they misfire and get him in the arm.
Yeah. They hesitate too much. They're like, oh no.
Yeah.
You've gone this far now. There's no turning back.
And the guy just looks at his arm, is like, oh well, and walks off. He's like, clearly Parasyte, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Come on now. So he's like, what are you doing? Go get him. So they all run off to go and kill the guy, and they do. And this guy like flies off, and Goto finds him. Goto analyzes their choice of weapon. So he looks at the body and he's like, oh, a shotgun. Oh, it seems to be very effective. So now he can, like, you know, adjust his body to be able to fight this thing. And such a good weapon, isn't he?
Yeah. Born weapon.
Soldiers surround Goto and ask if they should shoot. Uragami had not yet seen Goto.
No.
And he just kind of walks in going, I don't care anymore, just shoot him. And then he sees Goto. And he completely loses it. He's just like, ah! And runs away as fast as he possibly, proper anime cartoon style, legs in the air, run away. So clearly this guy's bad news.
Yeah, it's like, there is too much murderous intent. I'm out of here.
Yeah. But the other soldiers don't really catch on to this, and Goto is like, come with me, we'll find more room. And they follow him.
I know. I'm like, oh, you dum-dums. Because
clearly this is a really bad man. The murderer who's killed many people has just legged it. Okay, if the murderer is running, you should run too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, soldiers, why you be so dumb? This is one of those moments where I'm just like, why did you let him just casually walk into a bigger space? Come on, guys. I mean, it's cool what happens, well, and also horrific, but at the same time, I'm like, why did you let him get away with that?
Well, the soldiers surround Goto. I mean, they don't know Goto. I mean, if Uragami stood around and was like, this guy is a lot of evil, he's going to be so much harder to kill. But as far as they're concerned, if you shoot it in the heart, it dies. They don't know Goto is this powerful, big lump of Parasyte. Like, they don't know that.
No.
Which is really sad. But they should know, because they did all the freaking research. They knew he was 5 Parasytes. Unless the people in charge didn't tell the soldiers about him, which it doesn't seem like they did.
No, I don't think so.
Bad. They should have said, if you see a guy who just looks like a big lump of muscle, don't go near him, run away, and we'll try and figure out something, because you ain't gonna win. Bad planning, communication. It was always down to communication. It's always lacking in every business, communication. But anyway, the soldiers surround Goto. They go into this bigger space. Oh, and the handler, he catches up to Uragami, and he thinks that this is his trying to escape. He's like, oh, you finally tried to escape, did you? But Uragami cannot believe that no one else can see the monster that he can see. He's like, it's radiating off him. Yeah. Why can't you? I mean, you don't have to see anything radiating off him. He's just so calm and so confident. Okay, there's a reason why he's calm and confident.
Parasyte.
So Goto leaves the soldiers into a large hall, and he says that they have 2 minutes. So they just open fire, and they just go for it, and they just fire, and they fire, and they fire. It's like, stop firing!
Literally giving him ammunition.
Exactly. And then huge trichtophobia trigger. I was like, no, look at his face. No.
I forgot about that.
Because, as they say, like, there's no blood. There's nothing. It's just holes, fleshy holes in his face. I'm like, no! Oh, God, no!
I promise in the next anime, no cannibals and no trichtophobia.
Make it stop. But yeah, I'm sitting there writing notes going, why? But they start to hear crumbling inside Goto, and they're like, what's that noise?
Crunchy, crunchy, tinkle, tinkle. It's like, whoa.
And basically that is him collecting all the bullets that they just fired at him, and he throws them back. There you go. Have what you gave me back. And pretty much killing everyone in the room. He sees that some of the men are still alive, and that's down to the armor that they are wearing. But he says, well, you know, you're going to be dead soon, so what's the point? Yamagishi is told that the other team is dead. The handler, he takes Uragami back by gunpoint. So he's going back, but he doesn't want to, obviously.
He's like, don't turn me to the evil, true incarnation of evil, murder, and just like horrificness heading this way.
But that's it. Other than talking to the guy, there's nothing much else Uragami can do. If he's just taken out her entire SWAT team, what's Uragami? He's got no weapon. All he can do is
go.
Like talk
That's
to
a
the guy.
parasite. You know.
All he can do is, hey, we both murder people. Let's talk about that. But that's it. That's all he can do. God knows why they're taking him back. The soldiers enter a large conference room, and Hirakawa is waiting, and he says, "Hello." Credits. The end.
Calm as anything. Oh, hello.
Hi. So yeah, and that's the end of that episode.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to get a one-to-one time with Hirakawa in the next episode. Hopefully, explain a few things. You've got a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah. What is going on there?
Yes, that was. It seems short, but it's just that so much happened. Like there wasn't any talking really. There was no conversations, no back and forth, no.
It was just violence and death and explosions and bullets and exploding bullets and exploding parasites and human shields, and it was carnage basically. Absolute carnage.
As you said, it's just a big showing of the human monster, the monster of I have a directive, I'm going to do it, I don't care who dies, which is exactly what the parasites have done. It's like, oh, human race, why don't you see this? We clearly haven't evolved in some ways, you know? Even the parasites can evolve past eating people.
Yeah.
But we can't evolve past there's a threat, kill it, and everything around it. You know, it's like, oh,
it's different. Quick, kill it with fire.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Exactly. And yeah, the fact that that talking to them is the last resort. It's like, come on.
In whatever warfare in the history of mankind has genocide or just shoot first, ask later ever actually come out as the best option? Or the one that the rest of the world understands or goes, actually, yeah, that's great. Let's just shoot everything first. Who cares about these other things? Nothing has rights.
It's sad and true.
Yeah.
Yes, I think government officials need to watch Parasyte and be like, look, this is what people think of you. Go in, shooty, ask questions later. No, bad. But then I'm not running a country, so I can spout all this as much as I
yeah,
like.
exactly.
I can wag my finger as much as I like, but I haven't got the job, so
Nor do
I'm
I
sure
want the job.
No, it's a very hard job. I mean, yeah, no. I like podcasting. So yes, lots of carnage, lots of sadness. So Sagira's happy moments with Lizzie.
I've been doing quite well with my physiotherapy. My latest gym session is I've progressed from just like stretching and small mobility exercises to actually being able to use the machines, which for me is a big deal.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, you're getting better.
Yay! I was able to step on a box without needing a support. I was able to get down from a box without hurting myself. And then I got to use actual gym machines. You know, chest presses and leg presses and things.
Soon you'll be allowed to walk upstairs again without someone being behind you going, don't fall.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. But, you know, I won't be quite like holding on to both handrails going, no one can come up or down the stairs when I'm on them until I get to my destination.
Yeah. Have I seen anything? Oh, this has just made me happy. I just love watching it. So I'm a big Markiplier fan, and there was time. Did you ever see that GTA made an online role-playing game?
Yeah, isn't it called GTA Online?
Yes. So Markiplier started playing it, and he called himself Stan the Waterman. And there's like hours of footage of it on YouTube, and it's just so funny to me. Anyway, I find it hilarious. It might be dumb to some people, but I find it so funny because I love role play. And just some of the people who play it are so inventive and creative and are really good at improvisation, that it just inspires me that I want to do something like that. But I haven't got the time because it can take hours to get into the server. I'm like, who's got time to sit there? I'd rather just sit down and watch other people enjoy it. So yeah, that's my advice, is if you like silly improvisation, go watch Markiplier and Stan the Waterman because it just makes me smile. I just find it really funny.
Aw.
So yeah, if you need cheering up. Okay, social media.
Da-da-da. I think mine is coming in on a storm of bullets. Pew 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 pew. Social media. Rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a. I don't know what I just accidentally shot with my rat-a-tatas, but it did not sound good.
No blood. Yeah, your social media is a parasite.
Wouldn't be surprised.
My social media is coming in of me using you as a human shield. Boom. It didn't work.
It's so weird because I was choosing between whether or not to use you as a human shield or be a storm of bullets, and I went with storm of bullets. And I was like, that's so weird that we both wanted to use each other as human shields.
It just shows our relationship.
Yep.
Okay, say goodbye, Lizzie.
So from a Weeaboo, this is Johnny.
And from a newbie, it's